Hi everybody, it's Ellen Weatherford.
And Christian Weatherford.
And this is just the boo of us. The spookiest animal review podcast where we rate your favorite animals out of 10 in the categories of effectiveness, ingenuity, and aesthetics.
We are not zoological experts, but we try our best to bring the best information we can.
But we are ghouls and ghosts because it's our Halloween episode.
The best one.
We have become such Halloween fiends. Halloween has kind of become our Christmas a little bit.
It helps with the kids getting more into it nowadays.
Yeah, the kids get really into it. And we've got a lot of birthdays around Halloween in our house.
That's true.
It's just kind of a hype fest all over the place. Also, I feel like this year we have really leaned into Halloween festivities a little bit more than we have in past years.
Well, last year we realized a little too late that, we have the fall foliage and such here and all the other kind of things that you see in like Hallmark movies.
Yeah, that's true. We have not really gotten to enjoy an actual fall season in the past. Mm-hmm. We live in a place that actually gets a fall season now, which is a fun change for us.
This is autumn for our listeners outside the United States.
You think maybe they just had no idea what we were talking about? They're
just falling down all the time.
Like, what is this mysterious fifth season? Never heard of fall. Surely
we call it that because the leaves fall down, okay?
Leaf fall down is fall. We went to a pumpkin patch.
We did.
We did the whole corn maze thing. Mm-hmm. Picked out a pumpkin with the kids. It was extremely festive.
It was.
We've been watching Nightmare Before Christmas.
Hocus Pocus.
All of that. Which I was late to the Hocus Pocus.
See, I was raised on it.
I was not an early adopter. And I feel like if you didn't get into it as a kid, it does not hit the same like as an adult without the nostalgia factor.
See, I did not know a time before Hocus Pocus.
That's true. It's just always been there for you. Hocus Pocus is always there for you.
Yeah.
So we're in the Halloween spirit. We're festive and spooky. And as we often do around the spooky holiday, we have brought to you a themed pairing of animals for this week in celebration. Some very spooky little guys, or at least spooky themed. Spooky adjacent, maybe. Mine's probably a little spookier than yours, I think. Yours is spooky in it's
like a spooky word.
Spirit only. But I'm very excited. I know I say this like all the time, but I'm extremely excited to talk about mine because it's very fascinating. And I have a lot of things I'm excited to talk to you about.
And I'm excited to hear it.
So this week, you need to ask me what I have this week.
Yes. Ellen, what do you have this week that I definitely remember?
Thank you. Like a vampire, I can't begin my segment until invited. You have to invite me in before I can actually start talking. Mm-hmm. This week, I will be talking about the Ogre-Faced spider.
Ooh.
They're also called net casting spiders, but I will call them Ogre-Faced spiders because it really leans into the aesthetic of this week. They are actually called that. It's just, okay. I will be sticking with that because it is most thematically appropriate for this episode.
Now, if you had to estimate, how many times in this episode will Shrek be referenced?
It's at least once in my notes.
Okay, great.
But you're free to just drop sort of Shrek.
I'm going to bump those numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Feel free. This is a Shrek positive zone. Shrek's positive. So ogre-faced spiders belong to the genus Dinopus. These spiders were submitted to us first by Sean Renning via email. Thank you, Sean. And then emphatically by Lynn in our Discord, very enthusiastically sort of relayed the request in Discord. So
very good.
Cyberbullying works, guys. Get your way. But I'm really glad that y'all brought this to my attention because it's one of those things that when you have to kind of dig a little bit but once you dig a little bit, you realize how much there is to this spider. And
excellent.
I was very excited to get to learn all this. And I am getting my information from the University of Florida's Entomology and Nematology Department, as well as the Australian Museum.
Okay.
Yeah. So you may have noticed information from Florida and Australia. two different places, very far apart.
Well, this isn't my first rodeo, so I'm familiar with us using that specific department of UF for lots of things.
They're so good. Thank you guys. Y'all have a banger website.
Right.
Thank you so much.
And I know
love
it
your
includes
website.
species that are not particularly found in Florida as well.
Yes. Well, there are species of the spider in
Okay.
Florida.
Great.
In fact, some of the papers that I was reading were like on specimens in Florida.
Okay, perfect.
But, members of this genus are found all over the world, particularly around tropical regions. I'm just going to kind of jump right into effectiveness, which for anyone who, if this is maybe your first time listening to this podcast, our first category that we rate animals on, which is things built into their body that let them do a good job of the things that they're trying to do. This is a spider. So tools that they have in their kit that let them catch prey and not become prey themselves. I'm giving Ogre-Faced spiders a 9 out of 10. Easily, when you look at one, the absolute first thing you're going to notice is their eyes.
Really?
You haven't seen a picture of these yet. You have not observed this specimen yet, but their eyes are like, if you imagine like when a cartoon character is like begging for something and their eyes become just like giant like dinner plates on their face.
I see.
That's what their eyes are like all the time. They are enormous. They take up a comically large portion of their face, and they are just like, I'm talking orbs on these dudes. Like, they're rocking globes.
Now, how many eyes?
So they, like other types of spiders, they have 8 eyes in total, but the pair that faces forward are the comically large ones. And I want to say these are what's called like the rear median eyes. For people who know more about spider eye arrangements, that probably means more to you, but for our purposes, it's just the pair that's facing forward.
I think I ran into this kind of terminology with the horseshoe crab.
Yeah, spiders got lots of eyes. They're not set up the same way as ours, but the important ones are the ones that are facing forward because they are comically large. They are like anime character, enormous kawaii eyes.
Like when the hair bangs gets in front, you can still see through to their eyes.
Yeah, the hair bangs that they, as spiders, have. Now, so they have these giant, enormous eyes, and as you might guess by the enlarged size of the eyes are extremely sensitive. So they are able to take in light more efficiently even than other nocturnal predators like owls or cats. Yeah, so anyone who has ever used a camera, like a DSLR camera, and you have to understand like what, it's called an f-stop, which is kind of a measure of how sensitive your lens is and how much light your lens can like take in. A lower f-stop number means a more sensitive lens that can bring in more light. And the ogre-faced spider, their eyes have a lower f-stop value, like F number, than an owl's eyes or a cat's eyes.
Okay.
So they're very, very sensitive. They can bring in tons of light, which is very helpful because these are nocturnal predators. So they're doing most of their hunting at night. But in addition to this, so not only are their eyes really, really huge and round, they don't have the tapetum lucidum that some other nocturnal animals have, which is the membrane on the back of nocturnal animals' eyes that gives them eye shine. So if you think like a cat. We just watched the movie The Wild Robot.
Yes.
Which was such a cute movie. You seemed like you liked it too.
I did. I was kind of running around doing food stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, we were having a movie night, which we do with our kids sometimes, where we blow up an air mattress in our living room and make pizza and popcorn and like turn our living room into a movie theater. It's really, really fun. And we watched Wild Robot. And something that I found very charming about the movie was that all the little nocturnal woodland creatures, their eyes were shining in like all the scenes at night. It was really cool.
It was, yeah.
I thought it was neat. But so anyway, ogre-faced spiders, they don't have that. They don't have the tapetum lucidum that lets them see well at night. So instead, their eyes do produce a membrane, so like a very, like sort of like a thin film almost, of very, very sensitive photoreceptors. And photoreceptors are the cells that detect light. So this membrane does help them see a lot better at night, but it would make them too sensitive during the day. Like that would just be taking in way too much light. They can't be taking in that much light all the time. So every dawn, the membrane is destroyed and broken down. And they just like delete that part of their eye, throw it out. They're done with it.
Wow.
And every single night, when night falls, they grow it back.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
It is.
That just seems like such a drastic adaptation to like have an entire part of your body that only appears at night. Isn't that just like incredible? I've never heard of anything else like that.
Yeah. It makes me appreciate having eyelids, I think. I was thinking maybe it just closes its eyes during the day. Nope.
No. Well, also I think that spiders can't like adjust focus in the way that we can. Like the focus in their eyes doesn't work the way that ours does. So like I think their eyes aren't as adjustable as ours. Like ours are a little more dynamic, but theirs is kind of like set in one particular way. So this is just like a very metabolically costly workaround for them to work around like the sort of limitations of their own eye. It just seems so drastic to me, and that's so interesting that they like grow an entire part of their eye that's only there at night.
So does it just fall off, or is it something they have to peel off themselves? How's it work?
I would... Oh my God. Yeah, they just reach into their eyeball and just like scrape it off.
The way I'm imagining it is like a contact lens, or maybe...
I was kidding. They don't do that. I think it just like kind of deteriorates. I think it just breaks apart.
I see.
I think it does.
Or maybe like how when snakes shed, there's also that bit of skin that was over their eyes. Yeah,
I mean, that's not as bad. It can't be something that they have to manually peel off. Now, I talk a big game like, oh, isn't that gross? Wouldn't that be terrible? But I also do love watching those videos of people like peeling the shells off of eggs.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to explain them other than that. They're just like
I see.
Carefully peeling. I don't know. I like watching stuff like that. So
well, there's that phrase, right? Rubbing the sleep out of your eyes. So it's just like, oh, sun's up.
Ew. But as if this like incredible, exaggerated sort of sense of vision at night wasn't enough, they can also hear with their legs.
Oh.
Most spiders in general, they don't have ears. So they typically can't hear. They can still feel vibrations, but it's usually like vibrations that they can feel either through the ground or through their webs, right? Like a spider will spin a web, and then if something walks over the web, they can feel the vibrations and know where to go from that, right? Well, scientists in 2020 conducted a study which revealed that the ogre-faced spiders have sensitive motion receptors on their legs that can actually feel vibrations just through the air. Like they can feel the vibrations from sound as though they were hearing it.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is really fascinating to me because like, it's like, what is sound? Sound is just like, motion through the air, right?
Yeah, this just sounds like a different way of describing hearing, sort of.
Yeah, but not with like ears.
Yeah.
All of these seem like weird workarounds for like, it feels like if you have like a really old, outdated computer that like can't really run much, and you have to run all of these weird workarounds with like wonky settings and stuff to get it to run modern software. You know what I mean? Like it feels like they're having to like have all these weird workarounds to work with the dilapidated hardware they have.
Like a Rube Goldberg machine of perception.
Yes. They've taken such unusual approaches to get the same result, right? The same result of hearing sounds and seeing at night, but having to take such bizarre pathways to get there. And that study, by the way, was called Ogre-Faced Net Casting Spiders Use Auditory Cues to Detect Airborne Prey. And that was by J.A. Staffstrom et al. In Current Biology in December of 2020. And I just wanted to include a little note here because this study was actually prompted by a previous study from 2016 in which they were trying to test the ogre-faced spiders to see how much vision was influencing their hunting, how important vision was to their hunting behaviors. And they did that by blindfolding the spiders to see if they could still catch their prey with a little blindfold on, which just ties into this pattern we see of scientists bullying animals for science.
This sounds very familiar. Did we come upon something like this before?
Just like a few weeks ago, we talked about the boots on the dung beetles.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, they put little boots on dung beetles.
Okay. We'll put this in that same file.
Yeah. Go back to the dung beetle episode if you want to hear about the boots. But this time they put blindfolds on spiders.
Okay.
Oh, and also I think just before that, we talked about the thing where they put the eye trackers on peacocks, on peahens.
Oh, yeah.
The little like cyberpunk eye motion trackers. So they just can't get enough. They cannot leave these critters alone. They did put blindfolds on spiders. And interestingly, when they did that, they blindfolded these spiders and they found that the spiders, they couldn't catch prey that was walking below them, but they could catch prey that was flying above them.
Oh.
So it seemed like they were able to hear like the buzzing of the insect prey like flying around and use that to detect where they were supposed to go, which lines up with, the findings of when they were blindfolded, they could still catch prey if it was flying above them. So this just kind of like tied into that, like, oh, they're actually hearing things just in a very different way than we are.
Right. I wonder what the range comparison is. Like, what frequencies of sound can they sense through this versus what we can sense through our ears? I
didn't write it down on my notes, but that is specifically detailed in the paper. Like the exact like frequency ranges, because they tested multiple different frequencies and they found that if the frequencies were either too high or too low, it wouldn't prompt the spider to strike. But they were like specific frequencies that seemed to align with sounds that would be produced by what they would be interested in striking at. But like if it was too high, for example, that could be something like a bird that might be hunting them. So they wouldn't want to move if they heard that sound. So if they hear like a too high of a sound, they're not going to move because that could be something that could be a threat to them. So like they have a specific range of frequencies that they would respond to.
Okay.
All that is in the paper. I just didn't write down the specific numbers
it's
in
a
my
lot,
notes.
I'm sure.
So yeah, very, very interesting tools in this spider. So the next category that we rate animals on is ingenuity. These are behaviors, things they're actually doing with their body to thrive and solve problems that they face. I know you thought effectiveness was pretty good, but for ingenuity, I am giving them a whopping 10 out of 10.
Really?
Because for a spider, they're pulling off some very sophisticated maneuvers, like not a ton of space for brain in this little noggin, especially because most of the room in there is taken up by eyeball.
Sure.
The eyeball has taken up most of the cranial real estate and not left a lot of room for brain, as with owls.
Yes.
Which are also big eyes and not the brightest. So one of the names for ogre-faced spiders is net casting spiders. So this is a description that has to do with their hunting behavior. Like other spiders, they will spin webs, right, with silk, but they don't do what other spiders do, which is like build a web and then wait for something to accidentally sort of like stumble into their web. This isn't a passive sort of like they set it up and then hope for the best. They are aggro for this. They are on the offensive. So they build this large frame, and it's kind of like A-shaped or like triangular.
Yeah.
So they'll build a large sort of frame, and then they hang down from the middle of the frame. So the frame will go from something like a branch or a leaf down to the ground. So it makes like a triangle with the base of the triangle on the ground. So the spider hangs in the middle of it, face down. So face pointing down at the ground. Now in their front pairs of legs, they build a smaller fluffy net.
Oh.
The net is very like fluffy and soft looking. So it's very like frayed. It's not like those sort of tight strings that you see in the rest of their web. And they hold them between their legs stretched out. The best way I can describe this is as a cat's cradle. Have you seen like people playing like the cat's cradle game?
With like a string?
Yeah, where you play like strings in between your hands.
Yeah.
But you have to stretch your hands out to pull the strings taut.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Okay.
So they use their front legs to hold this net out in front of their head, and they wait. And sometimes what they'll even do is while they're hanging down from this large frame web, they'll drop little pieces of poop down below them to act as a target. So they'll like drop a little bloop down onto the ground and then use it as a target because it's like white. So they have a target down below them. So they silently wait there for unsuspecting prey to walk underneath their web. And then once a little critter, like a little insect or something like that, passes underneath them, like passes through that target that they dropped on the ground, the whole spider lunges forward with that outstretched net that they're holding in their arms. It's like an Animal Crossing when you have a bug net. I guess that's not specific to Animal Crossing,
Sure.
but in any sort of, it's SpongeBob when he's jellyfishing, right? When you have like the net and you actually like swing the net forward to catch stuff inside of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they're doing. They lunge forward while holding this net out and then bring it down around the prey and catch it in this net. Which reminds me of like in cartoons when there would always be like a trap set for somebody that would involve just kind of dropping a net on top of them. And I never really understood how that was supposed to work.
Wait, now what?
Well, because I was like, just get out from under it. Like, what's the problem?
Right.
I don't get it. Like, what's keeping you under that net? Just don't be under the net anymore. But the spider will kind of, hold the whole net down. It actually reminds me of how sometimes we will bully our cat by like holding a sheet, like a bed sheet down over him.
Oh.
He doesn't like that we do that.
So I just like to cuddle upside down, baby style.
Whether he wants to or not. But so they don't have to strike from above. They have also been documented flipping around to catch prey that flies around above them. So they can also like do this sort of like flip strike where they sort of flip backwards and catch stuff out of the air.
Sick.
It is sick air. And I feel like this just shows to me that like I feel like being a bug has to be the worst possible, like most anxiety inducing existence, because you got ops in every possible direction. Like there is no safe situation for you to be in when you're a bug. You could just be walking around minding your own business, not doing anything to anybody, and then just before you even know what's going on, suddenly you're trapped in this bug's net.
Right.
It's a tough life out there, I think.
Probably worse ways though.
You think so? I don't think there are worse ways to go. I can't think of one.
I mean, what about the kind of spiders that are in like a tunnel and then come out and snatch and pull it into the tunnel?
That's not much better.
It's
It's a jump scare. It is a full-on jump scare. So sorry for you, bugs. But this is all interesting ways that they catch their prey. But these are spiders. They're not exactly the very tip top of the food chain. There are still things that are trying to eat them. So they have their ways of trying to not become prey. They do some very interesting cryptic posturing.
okay.
Where they will hold all of their arms in a straight line.
Huh.
Like, I've never seen another spider do this. They will like stretch their legs out both in front of and behind them to form just like a straight line.
Okay.
And they just hold it there. They look like a stick.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, so they can either like go flush with, if they're already sitting on like a branch or a twig or something, they'll blend in with a stick they're already on. Or sometimes even if they're not already on a stick, they will do that to look like another stick. Like,
yes,
they seem like they'll do it regardless of whether it's like blending in with something else or not, because it's like, well, what are you gonna do? You wouldn't look twice at a twig on the ground, right? So you know what, I have a link to where I can show you a picture of it because it's quite impressive. Look at this.
Wow. Long.
They're so long.
Okay, this makes more sense with how long their legs are.
Yeah, so they're not doing like the typical spider posture, right?
Right.
I feel like the typical spider posture is like crab mode.
Yeah, normally hamburger, and now it's hot dog.
Yeah, they're hot dog style. Yeah, that's exactly it. So but it's funny how they kind of like hold their arms straight out in front of them and then like their back legs straight behind them and just hold it there.
It's like it's getting ready to dive or go into like hyperspace.
The warp speed engage. Oh no, not warp speed spiders. But they're really good at this. they become long. You know what they'd be really good at? Prop hunt.
Oh.
Have you seen this?
Yes.
I've never played it, but there are like video games. It must be like mods or like private servers or something like that.
I don't think so.
I don't know how it's done.
I think it's like an included game mode in a lot of games nowadays.
Yeah.
Like in the Call of Duty vein of games, I think.
Yeah, like first person shooter games where there will be modes where instead of controlling a character or like a player character, you are controlling like an inanimate object.
Right.
And you have to make your inanimate object blend in with the world so that you're playing hide and seek basically. And the objective is for other people to figure out which inanimate object in their surroundings is actually another player.
Right.
Yeah, they would be really good at this. And finally, the last little thing I want to talk about for their behavior is in their mating behaviors.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So for these, for the ogre-faced spider, love is truly blind. Because I'm going to read this from the UF website because I feel like their description of this behavior is a good jumping point.
Okay.
Quote, upon reaching sexual maturity, male Dinopus spinosa undergoes sudden morphological and behavioral changes. The size of the male's posterior median eyes, so that's the big ones, the big eyes, is significantly reduced and the net casting behavior is lost. Mature males no longer hunt for prey and instead actively search for mates. Mature males do not rely on vision when searching for mates, but rather are attracted to airborne cues from mature females. In many cases, males are more likely to find females in complete darkness than in the light. So they just shut those eyes right off. They're like, I'm done with these.
Won't be needing these. Plop.
They just shut them off. Sometimes I wish I could just shut my eyes off.
I sleep.
So they just shut their eyes off. They are no longer interested in hunting or eating. They're done. Their life is done.
Oh, this is one of those things.
My job here is done.
Okay.
They are only interested in finding a mate at that point. Now, I didn't see whether or not... I guess that is like the end of the road for them.
They eliminated 2 of the 3 Fs.
They're just like, yeah, we're good, actually. Gotta find a lady now, and that's it. That's the last item on my agenda, and then I'm ready to die.
All right.
I also found it quite interesting that they don't even look at their chosen mate. They're like, you smell perfect. Yep, this is the one.
Well, I mean, they don't exactly have to worry about longevity or...
That's true. All right, you're the one for me. I guess we're done. Wrap it up. We're done. Roll credits.
Peace.
See you later. It's very romance.
Yes.
Finally, this brings me to aesthetics for ogre-faced spiders. I'm gonna give them an 8 out of 10 because I think they actually look pretty cool. This isn't like the cutest thing we've ever done. The eyes are putting in a lot of work. I'm going to show you a photo, and I don't know if you're going to come with me on this journey. This is kind of a hear me out, I guess.
Okay, it is pretty cute.
There's cuteness to it. And you know what I think is helping? They look like a skull, I think.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
A little bit.
Their face kind of looks like a skull with the giant round eyes and then their big old, whatever it is, the face parts that make them look like they have giant buck teeth. That's pretty good. That's really bringing down the intimidation factor a lot, I think.
I can see it.
They also kind of look like xenomorphs a little bit, like from the Alien movies.
You know, I was thinking mind flayers.
Oh, yeah, I could see that too with a big round. Like, I don't know. I feel like I can't take this dude seriously. I did also find that I think that with the name Ogre-Faced Spider, this was clearly, they were going for like D&D ogre, not like Shrek ogre.
Shame.
Yeah, because keep in mind, for me, Shrek came out when I was a very young kid.
Right.
That's what I think of when I think ogre.
Right.
That's the image in my head of an ogre. And these do not look like Shrek at at all.
Not even a little bit.
Not even close. But like if you were to look up like a classic, D&D ogre, they do look like that. They look more like that. Except it's the big round eyes. I feel like I would have, if I was naming this spider, I would have gone for like, I don't know. It's like a skull face thing, like they don't look like an ogre to me. I think they're a little cuter than the name implies. Like, look at this is a cute picture.
Yes.
They can be cute from the right angle. So, it's certainly not the ugliest spider. I think there's something cute to them. Maybe it helps that because of the giant forward-facing eyes and the sort of like readable face, like face with parts that are analogous to human face parts. Maybe there's a relatability there.
Now, they do seem pretty small overall, so I feel like you would have to get pretty close to see those details, right?
That's true. You would have to be pretty close, much closer to them than I would ever be. On purpose, certainly. They're also like very long bodied, like their like abdomen area is very, very large and long. I would definitely be spooked if I came across one like in the wild, but just looking at the pictures, it's not the worst spider. So I think they're pretty cute as far as spiders go. Okay. And like the Ogre-Faced spider, it's very Halloween. Like it's very on brand. It's very on aesthetic for this time of year. Yeah. So that is the Ogre-Faced spider. Thank you to people who put this on my radar.
Yeah, thanks, hon.
Let's take a quick break to hear from our friends on the Max Fun Network, and then we'll get to Christian's animal.
This season on the Adventure Zone, Abnimals. Get ready for a brand new crime-fighting trio, here to protect the anthropomorphic muscular animal citizens of River City. Featuring Justin McElroy as Axolile, the firefighting axolotl. Clint McElroy as Roger Moorer, the debonair cow of mystery. Griffin McElroy as Navy SEAL, the raw seal that has never served in the armed forces. And Travis McElroy as every other swole critter in River City. This swear-free Saturday morning cartoon-inspired story airs every Thursday on MaximumFun.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Emily Fleming.
And I'm Jordan Morris.
We're real comedy writers.
And real friends.
And real cheapskates.
We say, why subscribe to expensive streaming services when you can stream tons of insane movies online for free?
Yeah, as long as you're fine with 25 randomly inserted, super loud car insurance commercials.
On our podcast, Free with Ads, we review streaming movies from the darkest corner of the internet's bargain bin.
From the good to the weird to the holy, look at Van Damme's big old butt.
Free with Ads, a free podcast about free movies that's worth the price of admission.
Every Tuesday on MaximumFun.org or your favorite pod spot.
So, Christian, what spooky beast of the night do you have for us this week?
Well, what I'm talking about is only maybe a little spooky. And that is the Honduran white bat. I'm
so excited.
Yes.
This little guy lives in my head rent-free.
Scientific name, Ectophyla alba.
Ectophyla is a pretty Halloween-sounding name.
It does.
Maybe it's just because ecto.
Yeah.
Think of Ghostbusters, I guess.
Yeah, the ectoplasm and such. And this one was submitted by Remy Stubbs.
Thank you, Remy.
And I'll be getting my information from Bat Conservation International, Animal Diversity Web, and the National Park Service.
Very good.
Yes. I feel like I should specify National Park Service being the United States National Park Service. It's not actually in the name. Like, it doesn't say, like, U.S.
It's just the one, the nation, you know.
The one nation that there is. So, these are bats. They are flighted mammals.
Usually, not something you get a lot of.
There aren't. And these are little, and also their fur can be white to gray. They have a serrated leaf-shaped nose, and all their fleshy bits are kind of a yellow color. So think about like the flesh kind of flaps of their wings, their face, all that, kind of a yellowish color.
It's a lemon meringue.
Yeah. Now, when I said small, they are small. They lengthwise from like head to toe is 3.7 to 4.7 centimeters, which is about 1.5 inches.
That's not even my whole finger.
No, yeah.
Oh, they're so little.
On average, they weigh 5.67 grams or 0.2 ounces. That's like a teaspoon of table salt.
Oh my goodness. A little cotton candy.
Which I guess they have to be light to
Yeah.
fly. But their wingspan is 10.2 centimeters or 4 inches.
Okay.
So they're working on like a...
Wide.
What is that? Like a 1-to-4 ratio there?
A wide.
Yes.
A wide stance, my guy.
Now, as the name probably gives away, they can be found in Central America, like in Honduras, Panama, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica. They belong to the taxonomic family Philostomidae, which are the New World leaf-nosed bats. And a notable relative in there are the vampire bats.
Gonna get some thunder, blah.
Yes. Now, those are, I would say, the more thematically spooky bats for obvious reasons. But these are not like their vampire cousins. They're not eating the blood of animals.
And I must say, the vampire bat is also not as spooky as I think their reputation is. We did an episode, I did a guest episode on vampire bats a long time ago. I think that was with Nate Marshall. They're fascinating creatures, very fun to learn about, but these are not the blood-sucking guys. A lot of people think that all bats suck blood.
No, I would say they're probably much in the minority there. So first category of effectiveness, I'm giving a 7 out of 10. So first of all, flight. I feel like that's overlooked sometimes.
That's true. Yeah, we do. Y'all do take it for granted because I sure do wish I could. That would be nice.
Yeah. So bats are the only mammals capable of true flight.
Which is to be differentiated from gliding.
Yes, correct.
Which is just falling.
With style.
Falling forward. Falling more forward than down.
Like sugar gliders, flying squirrels, etc.
Colugos.
So a lot of their wing bones are analogous to our finger bones.
This is fun.
It is. And I recommend looking up one of these kind of diagrams to really understand it. But it's really interesting. And their wings are supported by strong muscles in the chest and back. And it's pretty interesting to watch a slow-mo video of how their wings move in flight. Because it's a lot like rowing, like using oars through a body of water. What's interesting about it is, the downswing of their wings is what gives lift and thrust.
Right.
But when they pull their wings back up, they fold their wings in.
Oh, so that they're not also flapping down.
Yes. How when you're rowing a kayak or something, you would probably lift the oar
out of the water.
Yeah, out of the water, or at least turn it 90 degrees so that it has less resistance in the water going back.
Right, because if you're just straight flapping up and down, then you're not going to be going up at all. You're going to be going down as much as you are going up.
Well, and plus with gravity,
That's
probably
true.
more down than up.
You don't want that.
So there is that. So these are frugivores, meaning they eat fruit. Lots of bats eat fruit. I think there's 3 categories of kind of bats here, usually that we talk about. So there's the ones that eat fruit, there's the one that eat blood, and then there's those that eat insects.
Well, the ones that eat blood, I think, are a subset of the ones that eat insects. It's pretty rare that they focus on blood. It's not it's not very common. There's only a couple species that really lean into the blood thing. And I think they're a subset of the ones that typically eat insects. But also I feel like the leaf-nosed bats, I don't feel like they usually eat fruit. I feel like they usually eat insects. That's interesting. When I think of bats that eat fruit, I think of flying foxes.
Right. Yeah.
They have the puppy faces.
Yeah, they're very cute. The next thing, big thing about bats, or at least mini bats, is the use of echolocation, or being capable of it at least.
Now, what are they echolocating? Because there ain't bugs.
Right, but they do use it for navigation at night because they are nocturnal still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So for navigation and finding their food, so the fruit that they like to eat, which is actually primarily figs.
I mean, yeah, they're delicious. I don't blame you.
And more on that later.
Oh, okay.
In aesthetics, actually. And the last thing I want to talk about is, this is going to sound weird, but they have something kind of a camouflage going for them.
It doesn't... I mean, yeah, they could camouflage really well in a bag of marshmallows. They'd be great for that.
They would, wouldn't they? So I'll get into this here in a moment in ingenuity, but one of the things they do during the daytime is they hide under leaves. And in the kind of rainforest setting that they live in, when sunlight goes through the canopy of the trees and through vegetation and hits their white fur in this kind of context, it reflects the sunlight back in like a green tone.
Like the light coming down through the leaf is green, right? So like it'll cast them, because their fur is white.
Right.
So the green light is going to make them look green.
I couldn't find very many details on this, but that's kind of the conclusion I was coming to.
Yeah.
So but the point here is that it's less obvious that a leaf has a bunch of bats underneath it.
Oh, that's true. Because like if you're looking at it from the outside, you're going to see that there's like a shadow or something.
Right.
Oh yeah. The pictures I've seen of them are all of them like huddled up underneath a leaf.
Yes.
And I guess I hadn't thought about the fact that like if you're looking from above, that would be fairly obvious.
Right. Yeah. So that helps them stay hidden during the day.
That's a good idea.
So that's an excellent segue. Ingenuity, I'm giving an 8 out of 10.
Okay, let's hear it.
And what's cool about this leaf behavior is this something kind of like a tent making process that they do.
Camping!
Yes. So this
is the bat for you.
So the females will use their teeth to cut the leaf from the outer edge to the mid-rib, causing a kind of like droopy tent shape.
Oh.
So they'll find a leaf that is pretty big and has room for them, but then they'll kind of cut the leaf such that the edges will fall down, giving them more coverage from like a side-to-side profile.
Interesting. You know what this is reminding me of weirdly? The giraffe-necked weevil.
Okay.
You remember that?
Yes.
This really weird weevil from Madagascar. But I'm pretty sure the females of the giraffe-necked weevil also chewed leaves to roll them up.
Oh, okay.
Not to make a tent that they would hide under, but I think this was for like protecting their eggs.
Okay.
But they would like chew the leaf to perforate it so that they could like roll it up into a shape. That's interesting that like the same behavior of chewing the leaf, not to like eat it, but to manipulate its shape better.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
That is interesting.
So like we talked about, they use these tents for hiding during the day, and they'll actually not get territorial over them.
The more the merrier.
Yeah.
Just lump them right in.
And it's usually the leaf of a heliconia plant, which is a flowering plant found in Central American forests.
Oh, so they have a favorite plant. This
Yes.
is my special leaf. This is the good leaf for me.
Yes, very much so. They live in colonies, and this has a lot to play into how their parenting goes.
Oh.
The male, it'll usually be one male that lives with 5 to 6 females during their mating season, which is kind of during the wetter months of Central America. So they'll mate, and then once the pups are born among the females, the male leaves.
Bye. Have fun with that.
And goes to join a bachelor colony.
Oh,
of other
great.
males.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
The absent father club. They're like, ooh, I've had so much fun. You ladies enjoy all of this. I will catch y'all on the flip.
Right. So the females stay behind, forming a maternity roost. Now the pups can fly after 20 days.
Okay.
And they're independent after 35 days.
Okay. So there's not like, this is going to suck for a month.
Yeah. However, the mothers are helping each other. So like say one mother needs to go off and, eat, right? It'll leave their pup with one of the other mothers there while it does that.
Bats are really well known for altruism. Like bat families are really well known for like helping each other out and being very sort of communal especially with like pup care, but like in general, like sharing food and sort of watching out for each other.
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes the village is a bunch of bats under a leaf.
What better place though? To be a bat under a leaf.
And the final thing here I want to talk about for their ingenuity is their communication. They use calls and touch. So their calls are very similar to the echolocation thing, which I feel like I guess I skipped over now. But so they'll use these calls with their voice, and they'll also use pheromones for mating reasons.
Oh, good. Yeah, you got to smell nice for the guy who's going to be there for 8 minutes.
Right.
And then bounce.
The donor that some would refer to that as. And now that I think about it, I did skip over echolocation a little bit. So the way echolocation works with bats, they will produce a very high frequency sound with their voice, usually within a frequency that humans cannot hear, but it'll shoot out this sound wave, and what they're doing is they're listening to wait for it to come back. And based on how long it takes for that sound wave to come back to their ears, they can tell how far away the thing is that it bounced off of.
It's an interesting way to let them have a 3D view of the world, like having depth perception through sound, right? So like even in low light settings, or when they can't otherwise see, they can use sound to create like a 3D map of the world around them, like Toph from Avatar.
Oh yeah. And apparently these calls can be pretty unique to the individual bat, which makes sense, because I guess if you had a bunch of bats using the same frequency, same sounds for echolocation, that would probably get pretty confusing.
Can you imagine if we all had to communicate on like one ham radio station? Like truckers,
right?
Like a CB radio.
Just trying to figure out where the next Wendy's is.
But there's one frequency and we all have to share it. I also have a distinct and special scream.
Yes.
That I can be readily identified by.
Right.
You know it's me by my scream.
Give me a lineup of 5 screams and...
Yeah, you know which one's me.
Yeah. Final category of aesthetics. Gotta give a full 10 out of 10 on this one.
You showed me a photograph earlier that was not flattering.
Right.
It wasn't a great shot of this bat.
True, but I feel like to get that view of the bat, it would have to be sitting on my nose.
That's true. It was I think it was the sort of thing where like it was a research photo, so like they probably were holding the bat up in a sort of way where it wasn't like psyched about what was going on.
They definitely had that camera up in that bat's face.
Yeah, that was like probably sleeping, and they were shining a light on it.
It's that one meme of like the guy sitting up in bed.
Like none of us look our best when we've been woken up and a bright light shone in our face. But normally, like in their natural state, when you see them, it's great.
Yes, for sure.
When they're all huddled up under a leaf, that's great.
It is. They're little cotton balls.
They do look like little cotton balls.
So earlier I mentioned the figs were going to come back.
Yeah.
That is because of carotenoids.
Oh, carotenoids. We've talked about these a few times.
So these are pigments found in the plants they eat, the figs, and it gives them some of that yellow coloration.
So we've talked about carotenoids with birds with pink feathers. So spoonbills and flamingos, both, where carotenoids are the pigment that weirdly like usually starts at like the plant level of the food chain and accumulates in like krill, and then the birds eat the krill and the carotenoids change their color. But for birds, it turns them pink.
Yeah. Gosh, we're talking about bioaccumulation again.
Once again, it's all bioaccumulation. That's all it is.
It's a good word too, I think.
It is. It's fun. Once you learn it, although are we having that, like, what is it? What's that like phenomenon where like you learn a word once and then you start noticing it like every day?
Yeah, I don't know because I haven't learned the word for that.
Once you learn it, you're going to notice it all the time.
I'm just going to get into a feedback loop.
Is it Bader-Meinhof? Hold on, it's going to drive me crazy if I don't figure out what it is. The Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, also known as the frequency illusion, is a cognitive bias that causes people to notice something more frequently after they've recently learned about it. This often occurs when we learn something new. Suddenly, this new thing seems to appear more frequently when in reality, it's only our awareness of it that has increased. That is from Scribber.com. So yeah, as soon as you have a word for something, or as soon as you learn something, you suddenly start to notice it all the time, and it makes you think that like it just suddenly became common. Right. But it was happening around you all the time. You just didn't have a word for it. Yeah. So now you notice it more. So we're really experiencing that with bioaccumulation.
Which I guess it's happening all the time for all organisms.
It's always been.
We just talk about it sometimes because it'll sometimes produce interesting results.
Yeah. Sometimes it's boring and we don't care about it. I don't care about the boring bioaccumulation. I care about the ones that results in like poison and bright yellow colors.
Looking at you, microplastics.
Yeah. Figure something out. Be cooler. Make lasers or something. Then we'll talk about it.
And then the final point here of conservation status, they are near threatened as of a 2015 assessment. No. And that's primarily due to loss of habitat. This
is one of the little guys I feel like we could get some like, this could be the face of the operation, right? Yeah. These are the little guys you could get some funding for. You slap these little dudes on like a PR campaign. These things can move mountains, I think.
Yeah, protect the cotton balls.
Oh, they're so little. They can't do nothing because they're all made of fluffy. As far as bats go, I know that like I feel like people of our sort of generation and younger are very bat positive. I think there's been a real 180 in like bat attitudes in the last few decades. People typically like bats at this point, I think. But for people who maybe aren't on Team Bat, this is a great gateway bat. This is a great bat to get you into bats.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, the scariest thing about bats is being a vector of rabies sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, don't go grabbing them. Just peek under a leaf. See if you find them in Central America.
Yeah, just traipse through the rainforest and...
Well, I guess if you figure out what this plant looks like, then you'll know what like leaves to look for. And you just peek under the little leaves, and there could be a fun surprise.
The plant itself is also pretty.
So from every angle, you're really getting a real treat, a feast for the eyes. Maybe not the spooky tone, but you know what? We have really, in our sort of Halloween aesthetic, have really embraced cute spooky. I think a lot of our stuff is like, it's spooky themed, but the tone is not scary or edgy. It is like cute, right? We have like a really cute ghost pillow and a cute like pumpkin and a cute skeleton. It's like there are elements associated with spookiness, but the aesthetic is still cute and like cartoony. And
yeah.
So I feel like this is the cute side of spooky.
Yeah, at this point in my life, I'm not super interested in the other end of that spectrum.
I'm over it, you guys. I want to go to bed at 9. I don't want to be scared. What a good bat. Thank you, Christian. That was really nice. And thank you to everybody who has spent this time with us and listened to us. And I hope that you liked what you heard today. If you did, we would love it if you left some nice words for us on a review on your podcast app of choice. I did want to share some very kind words that I received via email from a listener named Ann Pierce, who emailed saying, a few episodes ago, you asked to know how people listen to Just the Zoo of Us. My husband and I do date night by picking a location, normally a new bubble tea place, that is a little far away, and then put on a podcast for the car ride. Your podcast is always in the rotation. Anne says, we also got really excited about the Ross Seal episode because we listened to most of the McElroy podcast too. Y'all always make us laugh and spark some kind of fun conversation that we wouldn't have had otherwise. Thank you for being part of our date night.
Oh, that's so good.
Isn't that sweet? I feel like that's a double date at that point.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a date night that we get to do every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We get to get together and yap. And what better way to bond with a romantic partner than yapping?
Is this
info dumping?
Is this you giving me the green light to drink bubble tea into my microphone while we
into the microphone? There are so few things that I want you to do into the microphone. So, there's like one thing that I want you to do in the microphone, and that's pretty much it.
The listeners, they want to hear the tapioca pearls.
Oh my God. You know, I'm not a big fan of I don't like the slurping experience. I've gotten better at it because I'm better at pacing myself. Like, I feel like I now understand the dynamics of the boba now. Like I'm the first few times I didn't have the right muscle memory for it. So I was just inhaling them basically. It was very unpleasant. But now I've kind of got the hang of it.
Pond. Frog eggs.
Yeah.
Reed straw.
That's all I can think about. That's all I can think about when I'm drinking boba. Especially if it's the little I don't even know what it is. It's the ones that are a little bubble that bursts. It's got a liquid inside of it. You know what I'm talking about? It's not the tapioca pearls, but it's the little pockets of mystery
it's usually
liquid
fruit thing usually.
That's all I can think about. You know what I actually think about every time is the first scene of Finding Nemo.
Oh no.
It's all the little clownfish eggs.
Dang.
So you're all welcome for that. And now I've cursed you all and brought you all down with me, because if I had to carry this burden, so do you.
Really, reverse this on me.
Yeah, You wanted to make me feel uncomfortable, but it was you. Anyway, Maximum Fun. We want to thank Maximum Fun for having us on the network, along with their other amazing shows like the ones that you heard promos for earlier in the episode. If you want to learn more about the network and how you can be a part of supporting the network and our show and listen to all the bonus content, which are exclusive members-only episodes, you can head over to MaximumFun.org. And finally, we'd like to thank Louis Zong for making our theme music, which is really nice and fun. I like to listen to it. And it's spooky.
Is it?
No. But I am. Happy haunting. Trick or treat.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
Supported
directly
by you.